Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to another episode of lovely Katawa Shoujo. It's the morning chill that wraps itself around my shivering body. I have to my cupped hands to desperately try and stay above the cold as we mill about on the station platform. Lilly's clothing looks rather ill-suited for the temperature around us. I can only hope it's indicative of what she expects the weather to be like at our destination. Damn it, Lilly, why do we have to get here so early? Unfortunately, the train schedule is against us. The next train to Hokkaido is at 2 in the afternoon. Great, just great. I pause a moment to wipe some sleep out of my eyes, and Lilly promptly takes advantage of the opening. Cheer up, Hisao. Once we get there, it will be much warmer. But we're going to Hokkaido. Okay, I'm not getting into it. Why not just take the bullet train? The normal train is going to take hours to get us there, so we might as well take the Shinkansen line as far north as it goes, and just switch at the end. Because I want to enjoy the ride with you. There is a certain charm to all the trains. Wouldn't you agree? I'd agree if I weren't freezing in the morning cold because we decided to take one. I'm sorry, Hisao. Sorry? What for? I was the one who suggested taking a normal train. Way to make me feel guilty. All I can do is sigh and cover my face with my hand. It's fine, I'm just grumbling. It's in my nature. My, Hanaka, you needn't shoulder all the blame yourself. Even without your suggestion, I'd still have opted for the same thing. Clearly, you don't know the real problem, and that is the Polish trains. Which I never used, but I know they suck. Thankful. I mean, technically we have, like, a little bit faster ones now. But at the same time, we don't have the railroads for those. So they still are not that fast. And go at the normal pace as the older ones. That's Poland for you. Doing something without thinking. That's Poland for you. Thankful for the quick interception from Lilly, I take a quick gander around the station. But I guess, I mean, us is the party that leads the country. Us is the country, right? Anyway, aside from us, the train platform's all but desert. The morning dew settling on the empty benches. I guess no one else was masochistic enough to brave the very early morning. For if someone was, they'd more than notice the huge bags both Lee and Hanako brought with them. Just what did you have to pack into those things anyway? The bags? She pauses a moment and tilts her head in thought. A change of clothing, raincoat, underwear, sleepwear, a number of books. I think that's most of it. You make it sound as if I'm prepared. You brought less? Underwear and a pack of cards, that's it. And my pills, but never mind that. No pajamas? Damn, I knew I forgot something! As I rubbed my hair in frustration, Lee sighs. There should be clothes you could use there. Akira still occasionally goes there, after all, and I think some of our parents' clothing is still in storage. I don't think there'll be any problem with you borrowing a set of pajamas, if need be. I sleep commando though. Thanks. Still, I don't mind just sleeping in my normal clothing. For 2 days? Good point. Not really though. For 2 days would be borderline. It's more that looking even a little like a slope would be acceptable while in the presence of 2 girls. Still, I mean, you say they have lots of bags. For 2 days? One bag. One sport bag. One small sport bag. And I'm in. Easy. As we leisurely talk on the station platform, an announcement sounds from the loudspeakers, loudly heralding our ride's arrival. Louds. Oh my god! I just had a flashback to high school when I had a test, something like a test, I guess, from words from a certain chapter. I did not prepare because it was easy. And there was literally to translate the word from Polish to English, right? And one of them was quite literally speakers, right? And the teacher said, no, that's not the word. That's not the word you use for that. Even though it is, let's face it. Now that I think about it, she might have thought, yeah, it has to be loudspeakers. Oh my god. But there was a problem with her about some of those. That's true, actually. I mean, as I said, I didn't feel like studying for those sometimes. Most of the times, because I would pass anyway, easily. But there was a problem. She always wanted words to be exactly like in book. And not, you know, the actual same thing. Speakers, loudspeakers. Cool. It's the same thing back there. I think the same problem I've had with her was with headphones. Like, you know, it's headphones. No. In the book, it's earphones. God damn it, woman! Anyway. I don't know, I just had a flashback to that right now. Weird enough. Looking past Lilly and Hanako for the train still well offside. A quick check of my watch is enough to see that it's the one I will be taking. I'm like, woman, I did not study from the book. I don't care. It's the same thing. The 5:30 train was ours, right? 5:30 in the morning? I mean, I could make it if I didn't go to bed, I guess. Correct. Either of you want me to take your bags? Mine is not exactly heavy, as you can guess. My thanks, that's very gentlemanly of you, Hisao. Yeah, of course. Don't accept to rep something now. As I bend down to pick up Lilly's large bag, I look up to see Hanako picking up hers. You fine with that? A silence the only answer. I'm starting to get the feeling that by the trip's end, I'll be able to count every sentence said on one hand. See? It's good that I took those cards! Speaking of which, it's crazy, but yeah, I just played cards a second ago, like 10 minutes ago. Yes, another game getting ready. Anyway, with the morning landscape passing by the window and the occasional rattle of the train bumping the carts around, I try to focus my attention on the aging playing cards held in my hands. I like the pattern on those. I'll raise you 5. Hi. She scrunches her face up and leans over to Lee conspirationally. The two exchange a few whispered words. Considering how often this has happened so far, I'm coming to doubt Hanako's grasp of how to play poker. It doesn't seem to disturb Lily's reading, for her hands flitting over each page with the only occasional corrections to account for the trains bumping and rocking. My collection of chess pieces that we're using as chips is steadily growing up anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. Looking around us, our carriage is almost as empty as the station platform with waiting for the train itself on. Only a handful of people can be seen, looking mostly like tourists and couples on holiday. While the two continue their less than clandestine strategizing, a small boy looks over the seat and stares at me. Hoping he doesn't begin to stare at Hanako, I simply give him a wave and smile. Thankfully, he retreats back to his seat, after finding me far too boring to waste his attention on. I'll see you and raise you another 5. You got me. I fold. I've been laughing, and she's got me. Hanging my head, I push over a large portion of my winnings. Haddock looks absolutely delighted. And even if Lilly keeps her attention focused on her reading material, I can see the smirk on her face. They're both extremely pleased. For a moment I tried to work out what Lilly is reading, but the cover is too faded to read beyond the fact that Roman letters are on it. I can read it. A pity I can't read the braille above the printed title. What you reading, Lilly? That looks like it's in English. That's right. It's And Then There Were None. An old British story. I could read it to you if you'd like. She extends the offer with a grin, obviously in jest. I think I'll pass, but thanks. And jump to next scene. Was there a transition or... No, okay. Just again the double click. Nice. After a seemingly endless trip, we finally reach the promised land of the Sato summer house. Even after the train trip, the walk-up seemed to take forever. Why are the windows open for? That seems a little dangerous. Despite my grumblings though, I'd never have guessed the sight that would be in store for us once we traveled that long deserted road. It looks more like a farmhouse than the everyday house I'd mentioned, small in size and surrounded by trees and bushes. Dude, you say that, I would totally move there. An empty expanse of wheat fields and farming land can be seen as we walk up. The fencing only consists of rickety old wooden planks. It really drives home how far we are from the major cities and goddamn braces. Ow. From the major cities and is a sight that feels antithetical to the environment I grew up in. The only thing that doesn't surprise me is its Western styling. Wow, it's amazing out here. It's wonderful. That's nice to hear. While Akira may have said that she's kept the house in reasonable condition, I was worried that we might have different standards of reasonable. It looks like there isn't another soul for miles. I thought Akira would be the time to keep it to the city. Lee furrowed her brow in thought, smigly recalling almost forgotten knowledge. From memory there's a small town not too far ahead. Wasn't that far? This is largely just old farmland. Akira and I stayed in our parents' house, which was in the nearest city for a while. But after they left, we decided to move into a smaller, more easily maintained house. To find a place like this in Japan nowadays, it's kind of anachronistic. I think it's not that hard to find a place like that, actually, in Japan. Or maybe even in any country, to be fair. You just need to get out of the city. 10 out of 10 Lynxes would prefer to live actually out of the city. Or maybe not like completely in like village or whatever, but in suburbs. Well, this town does have quite a bit of history. Only town that doesn't suck. I looked down the street one last time before getting back to the task at hand. Shall we go in then? I'm parched. It was a long walk to get here. I think I'm giving Hanako a different voice now compared to previous episodes. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod to the three of us lodging our bags in the house. But again, I think I'm giving both Hanako and Lily that similar voice, so maybe that's why. Anyway, as soon as we set foot inside, Hanako and I start looking around, taking every detail of where we'll be staying for the next few days. All the artifacts of another's life stopped mid-motion are around the house, such as the television guide lying beside. I haven't Okay, I've seen those actually. My grandparents still buy those. The counter it was on, and pans in the adjoining kitchen still sitting on the stove. It's a strange feeling really, as if we were stepping into Akira's life for a brief moment, before leaving in a couple of days just as we'd come. Of course, the more mundane reality is that she just hasn't cleaned up after herself that well. Where should we put our bags? I'll show Hanako our bedroom. You can put your here, if you like. You mean I don't have the same bedroom as you two? Why would you even say that? Hanako flowers into a full blush as Lily takes her cheek in her hand. Oh my, how bold! You too. Hold on, if I'm to leave my bags here, where will I be sleeping? That's what I meant. Well, seeing as we lack a guest bedroom. The convertible futon, huh? Sorry, Hisao. I say, allow and take my place on the bottom rung of sleeping location priorities. I wouldn't. I guess there's no other choice. Lily leaves to show Hanako to their bedroom, so I take a small tour of my surroundings after I drop my bag on the floor. Nice kitchen. Actually, the fact that it looks super similar to the one I have in the apartment. The kitchen, just like the living room, is fairly modest. The rustic nature of the wooden furnishings drives home just how far we are from civilization. Returning to the living room, I decide to try out the television until they get back. Without show, the remote immediately flickers to life, apparently set to a news channel. Oh, speaking of TV, I think they yesterday had like a strike of sorts. I don't know what about exactly. Let's see. Those bus. It's funny. It's funny that they are doing that. I mean. Oh, wait. That's why you're striking? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so the media are supposedly getting taxed even more, and because of that they are not allowing the people to see some of the programs. Okay, that's fucking ridiculous, because actually this year, was it this year? Maybe end of the previous year, the supposed national TV let's say stole 2 milliard or billion. Stole basically $2 billion. 2 billion zlotys. Okay, so more or less, let's say 500,000 of the money that was supposed to go to hospitals instead. That's fucking ridiculous. Fuck national TV in Poland, really. Not to think about it, anything that this national sucks. Post office as well included. I hate post office. And I don't give a damn about actually TV anyway, so whatever. But the fact that they did what they did. Yeah. This country really sucks, man. Almost flopping down from exhaustion rather than sitting, I lay my back and watch. And watch. And watch! Hisao. I quickly blink to wake myself up. Lilly and Hanako having returned minus their bags. From the Hokkaido right night sky visible outside the windows, it looks like I drifted off to sleep. Looking to the wall-mounted clock, it's already 10. You found the television then? Yeah, it really does feel nice and homey here. I'm glad you like it. You already out like a light when we came back after packing our fix, so we didn't have the heart to wake you sooner. Judging from her giggle, I must sound funny when I sleep. I swiftly decide not to inquire. There's something I waiting for in the kitchen. Hanako gives a deep yawn, only just remembering to cover her mouth at the last second. Don't worry about that. My, are you tired? I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm pretty tired too. It was a long walk up here and it's getting late. If that's the case, I suppose we should retire for the night. Good night, Hisao. Good night. Night. With that, they quietly turned and walked back to their bedroom. Rubbing my eyes, I sigh. I wonder if I will be able to get back to sleep after being woken up. I wouldn't. Give me like an hour of a nap, and I won't be able to fall asleep at night later. And that's the problem because I actually managed to nap quite a bit of times. And at night I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. This ceiling looks interesting. Anyway, I suppose I'll eat something and watch some more TV before... Quietly of course, before going to bed. Is he still sleepy? Was there any intermission? Yes, there was. I really think I'll need to get a new mouse actually. Because those double kicks happen way too often. Is he still sleeping? I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired. It's getting late in the morning. I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear it from our bedroom. All because I couldn't get to sleep. Should we wake him? Don't do that, Hanako. Please. No, we should leave him. I doubt he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lilly. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It would be a shame to wake him when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Hisao. It is nice she cares so much for. Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch? Alright. Just the vegetables and rice? That should be enough. We'll need something simple as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As they do, I feel Lee's hand gently rest my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. A long silence passes. The only thought in my mind is of the gentle, outstretched hand lying upon my chest. After an indescribable amount of time, Lilly withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. You're new! Considering the feet all twisty, I prop myself up and rub my eyes. How did you know? Your breathing was off. Well, that makes sense. She couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hearing, she likely knew before even laying her hand on me. Don't make it sound like that. If you want to sleep more, you should really go to bed early. I know. I heard that television going long into the night. Sorry about that. My medication can be interfering with my sleep for a while now. Even if I'm tired, I have trouble actually sleeping. I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sigh. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others won't do. I'm not going to wave her off. I actually want to say, let's do it. Let's talk. Should we do it? Your choice, your choice. I don't remember. How many choices would we make in Act 3? Let's address it. Freak it. Come on. You worry about me more than I do at times. It just means I had to sleep a bit longer, that's all. But still. I'd say that I look absolutely fine, but I guess that wouldn't have a lot of meaning for you. She gives a sigh of consternation before treading off with an amused chuckle, giving up the point. If you say so. Please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on. Hanako could use some help. She moves to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces and disappears from the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. For a while I sit and watch television and attempt to wake myself a little more, but it's futile. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lily's lead. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lee backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. I'm temporarily engrossed as I watch Lee guiding the knife down carefully with finger the cabbage she's cutting. Each slice delivered slowly but with precision. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook it all, let alone for both her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako. Lilly. Want any help? Is that Hisao? Huh? Oh, morning, Hisao. I wish I could time. Actually, I could time this at the same moment. But I will forget to do it. Lee jerks back in surprise before turning around. Her yelp instantly drawing Hanako and me to her side. What's up? A small trickle scar falls down from her pale fingertip, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. With the television style masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention. Lilly! Don't worry, Hanako. It's just a small wound. Yeah, you should still get a bang dead on it, at least until it stops bleeding. First aid staff would be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you be okay here, Hanako? I've thrown at how little heat she's paying to herself. Asano gives a quick, almost automatic nod. It's fine. I can keep making lunch. Slowly. Oh. That's an old style window. Bathtub. What the hell? Is this the... What? This is a British design, yo. Why? What? Why do you have... Why would you do that? It's... I don't understand, by the way, this. Why do you have... two... freaking... faucets, taps, whatever you want to call it. One for cold and one for hot water. Why? Why would you design something like this? That's the most ridiculous thing, man. Wait, okay, in Japan they also have that. Why? Why are you doing this? What's the point? Anyway, an awkward silence reigns as I set the bottle of antiseptic and box of band. I might be wrong, but I think antiseptic has been banned in Poland. I don't remember the reasons. And box of band-aids on the side of the sink. Lee's finger held out for me to... Was it? I don't remember. One of those definitely has been banned. I don't remember. Maybe it was one of the companies? Whatever, really. One of those definitely got banned here. And you... Or maybe you can have still those in-house? Oh, I think it was actually banned in first aid kits for companies. Whatever. Okay, whatever. And a box of band-aids on the side of the sink. Lee's finger held out for me to treat. Funnily enough, I mean, maybe not funnily enough, but when I was still in the retail, in the sports store, I quite often got cut when I was going to the storage. And I was like, okay, I got cut. Let's immediately go to the other room and wash it, right? And put the freaking band-aid. Because our manager was like, oh, you got cut? Let me spray some perfume onto it. I mean, yes, you can use it as an antiseptic as well, but no, please, no. I never used antiseptics, quite literally. We had it at home, I never used it. I just washed it with water, and it's all good. Anyway. The lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum of resistance, and a small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains pale green. Okay, hold still. This will probably hurt a bit. She gives a small note as I take hold of her hand to steady it. With all the tenderness I can muster, I gently bring the thumbprint to the small red line. That was probably not the sound she made, but... I've barely touched it. Sorry. Actually, there is a very... There is a quite funny video now. Oh my god, what was the guy's name? I watched one of the video. Okay, let's see. Oh, Andrew Russo, check him out. He made a video where, you know, supposedly mimicking a kid that got a cut or something. Well, basically got hurt, and supposedly his mother was like using antiseptic on the wound, right? But he has quite hilarious videos, if I have to be honest. Anyway, sorry. I give a sigh, both at the reaction that to settle my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is startlingly low. I guess opposite to me. I will tell you to me now, but I can't really do that. As she gives me a small giggle, I take advantage of a momentary distraction and gently press the content against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both settle somewhat as I bring the bandage over the tip. Wait, you use cotton for this? Even if I was alone, just water. If parents were around, well, it wasn't going to be that easy. But it wasn't cotton or anything. It was like fucking antiseptic, straight to the wound. We both settle somewhat as I bring band-aid over the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There. Finished. You can move now. Taking her head from mine, she gently grasps it in the other. Thank you. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself at all. She lowers her head slightly at the apology, absent-mindedly ramming her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given that what happened is pretty clearly my fault. I can't help grimacing at her, despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds. She must not like being reminded of the limitations her lack of sight imposes on her. It's something I can't possibly fault her for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ubiquitous in my life. Neither of us any the happier. We head back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. I lay out the plates of the food. Steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry dishes, while Hanako lays out the cutlery. Knife one side, fork on the other. Western, how perfectly fitting for someone like Lilly. As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lilly emerges from the kitchen. In her hands are 3 glasses and... A bottle of wine? What? You will get drunk again. As I recall our previous run-in with the devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, a playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection. Collection? Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them pilfer their own. The perfect model of a responsible adult Akira is not. Hey, I mean, you are 18. I know in Japan, it's not the age, but in Poland... In Germany, it's 16, right? More to the point, for is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I mean, in Poland, you know, it's technically it's legally 18, but let's face it, any Polish person you will meet will tell you that they did not drink for the first time at the age of 18, but way earlier. Way! More to the point, for is that is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm starting to think Lily's the type to easily become hooked on things. Like, you know, I would say, I don't even know when was the first time I tasted some kind of alcohol, but it was definitely early. Like, and I can specifically describe the situation. Someone's birthday or Christmas, basically family gathering, family going away, right? End of the party, basically. family going away back to their houses, so everyone goes for the door. But the children still stay in the room and are looking. Hey, there's something in this bottle. Still, it's not much, but there is something. Should we pour a little bit for ourselves? The answer is yes! That's how it basically is over here, more or less. Don't take example. Don't, really. Maybe that's why I'm good with alcohol. Anyway, that's not really the problem. I don't really have any qualms with it, but didn't you have had a bad experience with it last time? I mean, technically that means she knows her limit a little bit better. Well, I mean, she went past that limit, right? So, you know, but still, maybe she'll be able to realize when she should stop. Anyway. Last time was likely to drink it too much, so a single glass shouldn't prove to be a problem. Think of it as a learning experience. I can't recall many learning experiences that made me feel rotten before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level. Tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seems to glow as the sunlight hits it. The delicate outline blurred and refracted by the glass. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine. The kind I'd think more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'd likely have done well if she'd learned how to play. I don't know how the pianist's fingers look like. Anyway, we quickly dig into our meal. Forks and knives clattering against the plates. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating. Makes sense. Lilly altogether too reserved for such thing. Hanako probably too shy to start conversation, and I too busy savoring the food. Such a pedestrian activity. Eating together at a table. It seems so utterly normal, yet it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. Just the three of us, sitting around a single table, eating as if we were a malformed family. So, father, Lilly mother, Hanako daughter, I guess. I mean, I would say this kind of makes sense, right? Don't you get the vibes like this as well? Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. Yes, it was. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine thankfully has little effect given we'd only had a glass or two each. I slump back in the seat, rubbing my stomach contentedly. I'm stuffed. Lilly pats her mouth with a napkin twice, only twice, and with evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes whether how she acts is a well-trained routine or a well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako? It was nice. Now that we're all fed, shall we be off? Where? You weren't privy to discussion between Hanako and me earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle dig at my sleeping in. We'll be going to the town nearby. I guess I should expect the two girls to take holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they may be. What? I'm interested to see more around the North Pole, so this cannot be a good thing. Sounds good. How long is the walk in then? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Mile is 1.6 kilometers. Okay, so 3.2 kilometers. Let's do it. Nearby, huh? Great. It's not that far. Just great. It really is not that far, man. Come on. I've had longer walks to school, I believe. Let's see. here. You of course don't see what I'm googling. No. I did not want to. Where was the? God damn it! This is too far. Oh, there, it's here. Set it here. Okay, I overstated this. It was only a 1 kilometer walk from my old house to the school, but it was primary school, okay? It's different. What about junior high school? Because there were times when I had to walk if I slept too long. God, what was the road? What was the name of? Oh, wait. There is the church. I hate churches. Churches should be taxed. Okay, it's... Oh, okay, there is the flower shop. So it was here, I believe. Here, please. Not like this. Google, cooperate. Like this, the turn here. For freak's sake! Okay. 2 point something. Okay. That does work as well. Whatever. 3.2 is not that far, basically. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lee and Hanako walking ahead. Actually, it would be like 14 minutes run for me, okay? As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lee and Hanako walking ahead. The slight breeze all but whisks away the sound of Lee's cane gently tapping on the ground. I notice that Lee since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. A deep, long-feeling breath of the fresher country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around home had been quite so clean. Yes. I wish that was the fact. Poland has one of the dirtiest air, unfortunately. It can't have even been half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't a pleasantly cool day, so I shouldn't be too hard myself for it. Hey Lilly, how well do you know this town anyway? Since I spent quite a few of my vacations here, until I entered Yamaku. I'd say I know it fairly well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. I wish Akira was here to drive us now. I could take one to rub my hands a couple of times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Well, man, if you want to not complain like this, you know what you have to do next. Time to get a license. Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter, but as you can work out, summer gets a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet at least. But you actually have a lot of greenery around Sims, so that kind of gives a lot of shade as well, right? And that keeps the temperature, I guess, lower. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and me. Only Akira lives there now, after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. For lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the proper-sized small town, there is another soul for miles around. Coming from a hole nestled deep within the big city, it's certainly different. I think that if I'd come to Yamaku, staying out in a country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation floor, the idea of living in such a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers. I would totally like that. So Hisao, have you been to Hokkaido before? Nah, I used to live down south and we never had any field trips or holidays up this far. Well, it's a new experience for you then. I mean, yeah, for me it would be similar. Living in the center of the country, if anything, with family I used to go north, so Baltic Sea, or like the area with lakes, or rivers, but we've never gone to the mountains, for example. The only time I went to the mountains would be school trips, and I guess once on my own, and that's it. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. How about you, Hanako? She shakes her head from side to side. It's my first time too. As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing even there is no reason for it to be happening. Could you two hold on a moment? I just need to. Is anything wrong? Nah, I've just got pins and needles in my heart. I swell up. My vocal cords suddenly become taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pull my upper arm over it, trying to quell the shot of pain spreading throughout my entire body. Hisao? Lily's face is only mildly concerned, totally the side which Hanako's recoiling from. I'm fine, I'm just tired. I remove my arm from my chest and force myself to begin walking again. It's just a minor heart flutter, so it will pass like the others, hopefully. It only takes a couple of steps before my body violently revolts against me. My legs suddenly begin to give my way underneath me and all the tension in my knees seemingly to evaporate. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall onto all fours. Oh damn. Hisao! As I look up to her, I realize my face still taut with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao? Hanako, tell me what's going on! Hanako, tell me! Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lily almost panics, having little clue as to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my face and take a deep breath. I come to realize that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of my new surroundings, I entirely neglected to take my medications last night or even this morning. What? Taking a breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God! As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat by now, pouring off my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao? I'm fine. I'm fine, kind of. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up. Hanako's arms quickly moving to catch me if I fall, as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. I look to Lilly and Hanako, worry written on both their faces. I feel awful. Utterly awful. I think we should get back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. Intermission or not? Yes, okay. That means that we'll be skipping a day probably now. Anyway, those attacks happen in this route at least often. Like in Shizune's route, I feel like there wasn't a single attack, right? I think the only time was when Emi hit us. And it also happened over here, but other than that, there were attacks as well, so yeah. I wonder how come. Anyway, let's end the episode here. We'll of course continue tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a wonderful day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.